Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the John Carpenter film The Thing. That's this one right here. And this is a film that came out in 1982, and it's definitely considered one of John Carpenter's best films, and I totally agree with that. This is a fantastic movie. It's a sci-fi film, a horror film, and a thriller. So in The Thing, we get a group of men who are kind of scientists, kind of not, who are in Antarctica, and they encounter an extraterrestrial creature who was once stuck in the ground, frozen in the ground due to all the blizzards and everything that happened in Antarctica. And so they dig it out, they research it, but things aren't going well. Something's not right. They split it open, they do an autopsy on it, try to figure out what it is. But somehow the creature's still alive. It's moving around. It's attacking dogs, attacking people. And then as the extraterrestrial creature has slowly become alive again, they're also realizing that this creature can imitate people's and animal DNA. It can literally become the perfect copy of a person or an animal, and you won't know if it's that certain person or animal after a while. You'll like if the thing attacked me, you wouldn't know it was me after it attacked me because it would perfectly become me. It would look like my clothes, look like my skin, look like my voice, look like me, know what I know, and you wouldn't be able to know who was what. But as a result, they also get more aggressive, these copies of these, and so it gets really dangerous in Antarctica, and they have to find a way to kill it off. Another problem they run into is people aren't being honest if they're being attacked by this creature. They either don't know or if they've came in contact. So basically, they're trying to figure out who is what, who is infected, and so these men are trying to figure out where the creature is, which person's not telling the truth. So they have to go through a series of heating techniques and other ways that they can find out who's the real person or not. And so the film gets really suspenseful as a result because we really don't know who the thing is, where it eventually transfers into as these people are trying to figure this out in Antarctica in this small base and in this blizzard. And so we have to figure out along with these characters who's the thing, who's going to survive all this, and how can they survive all this. So I really enjoyed The Thing, you guys. I think it's a very well done John Carpenter film. I would definitely put it up there with Starman and Halloween as one of my favorite John Carpenter films. I think it's pretty high up there with those movies. It just really works well. It really shows John Carpenter's talents as a director really well. Huge thumbs up for me, and I'll tell you here my positives and negatives why this film is so great. For number one, The Thing is a very suspenseful film. Like I was giving you in this plot synopsis for this review, you really don't know who is what or who is infected or who the thing is going to attack next, what it can do, what it can become, how it can know what you know, how it can imitate your clothes and imitate your skin and everything. It's just very suspenseful. You want to try to figure things out with these other characters in this Antarctica base as the film goes along, and it really works really well. There's also some well done practical effects here. This film is another example of just how bad CGI can be when you don't know how to use that correctly. How using something that isn't CGI can also look really impressive, and you can not have to worry about where the lighting source is and all that other kind of stuff. It really looks. For a 1982 film, a lot of these practical effects still look quite good. There's a few little small parts like that looks kind of dated, but for the most part, there's some really well done practical effects here, and they hold up pretty well, I would say. This is a great who is what kind of thrill ride. Like I said, that just the suspense that Carpenter puts into this movie is just so well done. It just keeps you guessing the entire time. You really don't know who the thing is. Every once in a while, when you eventually find out, oh, okay, well, that person was infected or that person was infected, Carpenter gives us little tiny clues every once in a while that we really got to look throughout the movie. And during second and third viewings, we can go back and be like, okay, that was the clear clue that that's how that person was infected, or that was around the time they were infected, or when that other person got infected and it was revealed, that's how they got that. And so there's small little things like that that Carpenter really plays around with here, and as a result, the film is really rewarding as a result for us as a viewer. I also thought Kurt Russell's performance in the movie was really good. I really respected the character. He really wanted to figure things out. Even when the characters were turning on him and thinking that he was the bad guy and that he was infected by the thing, we still root for him. We really hope this guy doesn't get infected. We hope that he can find a way to get rid of this creature, that his team members on this base won't get infected as well, that he can kind of find a way to stop all this from continuing to happen so he's not the only person left to die in this blizzard. And so Kurt Russell really gave a great performance here, and obviously him and John Carpenter worked again within Escape from L.A. and Escape from New York, and you can tell because they must really like working together, and they work really well together. And the thing really shows off what happens when these two men work together because they really create magic here on the screen. I thought this is also a very tense movie, so be prepared for that. This is a very tense film. It also plays off of the darkness and shadows really well here too. It really, you really don't quite know what that is off in that dark corner. You know, there'll be a shadow of a figure or somebody really passing by quick, or just small things where you might know where the thing is, but as the film progresses, you're either correct or very, very wrong, and it's just really fun to watch as a result. I also like how the ending of this film is kind of open ended. I mean, there's definitely ways where you can be like, okay, whether this is probably going to eventually happen and that's how it'll end, or this will probably eventually happen and that's probably how it'll end. But as a result, we really. Carpenter gives us, kind of like the original Halloween, he gives us just enough clues, just enough details that we can kind of come to our own conclusion. We really don't have to have the film tell us exactly what's going to happen because there's about two or three ways you can view the ending, and it's kind of fun to think about as a result by the time the film's over with. For my negatives of the thing, I thought the first act of the film, I would say more so before even the extraterrestrial character was introduced in the movie, I thought the first act of the film was a little slow. It felt like it was going on longer than it needed to, that they could have found the extraterrestrial creature in a faster pace, because the film really picks up when we really are trying to figure out who was what the thing has infected, and it's just a more fun film once we get to those parts. There's also no end reward for these characters. I felt at the end of the film, they're really not, for those who survive all this, there's really not a reward for them. And unfortunately, this is probably the first and maybe only John Carpenter film where there really is no reward for these characters. There's really nothing rewarding for them for what they just got, what they just been through as characters throughout the movie. And it's kind of just a little sad to think about once you realize that. I also thought there was parts of the film, specifically when the thing is, really getting aggressive with whatever human host it's taking advantage of. I thought there was certain moments, like I said, brilliant practical effects. No complaints about the practical effects. I thought they were all very good, but I thought there was maybe a little too much gore on some of those deaths. Like there was green flesh on one of them. It's just like it's both either not believable or it's going a little too over the top. Just a little nitpick I have. Probably could have tamed down the gore just by, I don't know, 5 or 10%. I would have been already cool with it. So overall, the 1982 version gets a 9 out of 10 for me. I really think this is a great John Carpenter film. Like I said, really suspenseful, really tense, keeps you guessing the entire runtime. Just a few little nitpicks I had with it, but it's a great Carpenter film. Definitely up there with Halloween and Starman as one of his best. I liked it better than Christine, and I really like Christine, so there you go. Um, really enjoyed the thing. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I know I'm pretty late to seeing this movie. It's quite a great movie, and it came out quite a long time ago. So if you haven't seen the thing yet, be sure you do. Make sure it's the John Carpenter 1982 version. Never saw the 2011 one. Great film, 9 out of 10 for me.